Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the entirety of Hyetta's questline. Spoiler alert incoming, but you're probably already aware of this if you're watching this video. Completing this questline will see you burned by the Three Fingers and on the path to the Lord of the Frenzied Flame ending to Elden Ring. However, I will also very quickly address at the end of the video that there is a way to revert this should you change your mind. With that out of the way, I now meet you right in the north of the Weeping Peninsula at the Bridge of Sacrifice. You get here from just heading all the way down to the south of Limgrave and crossing the bridge itself, and slightly over to the southeast we will see Irina sat on this rock. Here Irina tells you that she's escaped from Castle Morn and pleads you to go and help her father, as she's scared for him because all their servants rebelled and she's worried that they're going to kill him just like they killed all of her companions. Agree to deliver the letter, and then I'll meet you all the way at the south of the Weeping Peninsula, just at the entrance to Castle Morn. This is a very self-explanatory castle, so I'll skip most of the run, and I'll meet you here just as we're walking up the wooden stairs around the edge of this tower, and at the top we'll meet Edgar. Edgar tells us that he refuses to leave the castle until he knows that the Sword of Castle Morn is safe. And to do this, you need to defeat the last boss in this area. You can just kill him here and now and he will drop the item that we need. I don't advise doing so. I will do just for the purposes of this video, but during my current main playthrough, which is the Things You Missed series, I did go through and do this correctly, as I advise you to do, by completing Castle Morn and retrieving the sword from the end boss. Then you can come back and speak to Edgar to progress his questline. I'll quickly show you this and then I'll talk about the proper questline that I advise you to follow. So now I'm going to kill him and he'll drop his Banished Knight's Halberd +8. Then when we reload the game, we'll be able to loot the Shabriri Grape, which is exactly what we're here for. And now I can show you on the map, right down the south of Castle Morn here, is exactly where the end boss is. So once you've defeated the end boss and gone back to speak to him, he will agree to leave the castle and come and see Irina with you. Unfortunately, when you come back here, she will have been killed, and he'll be there, vowing revenge against the people that killed her. It's at this point I'll now cut to the footage of his questline, and you will meet him again as an invader here in this shack in Western Liurnia. He will have gone mad, consumed by revenge, and once you defeat him at this invasion, you will get the items that I got previously killing him at the castle. Once you've completed his part of this questline, either by just murdering him at Castle Morn, which as I say, you shouldn't do, or by defeating him as an invasion in Liurnia, which you should do, now you can come to the lake-facing cliffs, right at the south of Liurnia here, just after Stormveil Castle, and we can start progressing through Hyetta's questline. For anyone that didn't know, you can actually run around the edge of Stormveil. You don't need to complete the castle to get to Liurnia. As you'll see on the map here where I'm showing you, there's a finger reader crone by this broken bridge. You can follow that bridge along, jump off, and then walk around the outside of the castle, over some rocks and through some trees, and it will bring you just here to the lake-facing cliffs. And this is where you will meet Hyetta. She won't be here if you haven't already done Edgar and Irina's questline up to a certain point, so make sure you've gone and done the part in Weeping Peninsula first, or she won't have appeared for you. And at this point, she asks you for the first Shabriri Grape. We already have one from Edgar, so we can give her that, and you'll also get the emote as you wish. Now to get the second one, it's actually right at the end of Stormveil Castle, but even though I haven't completed it on this playthrough, we can still get to it from here. So you'll see I'm about to enter into this hidden exit just here. As we go through, the Shabriri Grape is right in front of us at the bottom of this ladder, but I'm just going to backtrack and talk you through something very quickly. As we get to the top of these stairs and in this throne room, directly in front of us through these massive doors to the southeast is where you will find and face Godric. So if you've been going through everything correctly and done Stormveil Castle first, as you come through these doors, you just want to take a left at the throne, follow the path that I just did, back down the stairs, hop off where we climbed up the ladder, and directly underneath you will be the second Shabriri Grape. So now we're going to rest at the site of grace to allow Hyetta to move to her next location. Then we're going to come to the northeast edge of the cliffs here and very carefully drop down all of these gravestones. The next part of the run is very self-explanatory. Just keep heading north, and eventually you'll come to the Purified Ruins. I am quite underleveled because I've just beelined it through the entire game to bring this guide to you as quickly as possible. So I'm now just going to very cautiously spend a few minutes clearing the ruins of all enemies. If I could please ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel, it would help out so much, and thank you. And if you want to go that one step further to support the channel and also grab yourself some juicy rewards in the meantime, head over to patreon.com/domsroundtable and you can become a member of the Roundtable and get yourself such rewards as your name in the credits of videos, early access to videos, and even exclusive merch. Thank you again, and let's get back to the video. And now, once they're all dead, I meet you in the central ruin here where there was 3 knights, and you can roll through the wooden planks on the floor. In here, you'll find the 2 Fingers heirloom, but most importantly, the 3rd and final Shabriri Grape. Once you've done that, you'll now find Hyetta just here, pretty much directly to the west of the ruins. Just be careful of the giant crayfish. Once you've exhausted her dialogue, you can then give her the 2nd Shabriri Grape so that she can continue her pilgrimage. Make sure you've exhausted her dialogue, and then I'll meet you back at the Liurnia Highway South site of Grace, ready to move on to the next area. Now you just want to keep heading north until you get to this big battle where a load of spectral soldiers will spawn. Ignore them all, run north underneath the mountain, and as you get to the end of the path, you'll be able to light and rest at the Gate Town Bridge Grace site. And now, directly north of this site, you'll meet Hyetta in her 3rd location. At this point, you can feed her her 3rd and final Shabriri Grape, and she will ask you what they are. If you didn't know by this point, they are eyes. They are literally human eyes. And if you don't tell her this, the quest line won't progress. It will give you another option if you decide not to say anything, but until you tell her that they're human eyes, the quest won't progress. As you then walk away, she will start. Well, you can hear what she's doing. I don't need to tell you what she's doing. Now go and speak to her again. She'll apologise and tell you that she's come to a realisation, and she's actually okay with the fact that she's been eating eyes. I now meet you at Bellum Church, which is her next location, and there's a few different ways to get here. You've probably already unlocked this during your playthrough, but if not, from the cluster of Grace sites that I've unlocked here, such as the Mausoleum Compound and the Labyrinth, just over to the west are a load of gravestones that you can jump down to get access to this location, or the easier way to do it, as you'll see off to the northwest here, is Castle Sol, and you can run along this giant piece of stone sticking out, and it'll bring you over to this section of land, where you can then meet me at Bellum Church. Now speak to her, and she'll say that to progress her pilgrimage, she needs something stronger, something better. She needs a Fingerprint Grape. You will find the Fingerprint Grape at the Church of Inhibition, which is to the northwest of the Frenzied Flame Village. And these 2 locations are quite far northeast from where we currently are. I won't show you the full run because we've already covered it during a previous video, and as you're watching this, you've probably got here yourself already anyway, so I'm going to cut to footage from my other video of me being invaded by and subsequently defeating Festering Fingerprint Vyke. He is a phenomenally hard fight with loads of incredibly powerful spells and attacks, and every single one of his attacks also causes madness build-up, so he is definitely not a pushover. And once you finally manage to defeat him, you'll be rewarded with the Fingerprint Grape and Vyke's War Spear. So now we can teleport back to Bellum Church, give Hyetta the Fingerprint Grape, exhaust her dialogue, and then the next time we see her will be incredibly later on in the game at the bottom of the subterranean shunning grounds below Lanedale Royal Capital. So I'll meet you there now, and I'll talk you through the last part of the questline. I now meet you at the bottom of the subterranean shunning grounds as you very, very cautiously and carefully traverse down these series of gravestones. When you finally make it to the bottom, the floor will break underneath your feet just here, and you'll be able to light the Site of Grace for the Frenzied Flame prescription. Here you will meet Hyetta, and she's now very excited at the prospect of becoming your maiden. So she advises to divest yourself of your possessions, aka get naked, and then go through the door and introduce yourself to the 3 fingers. So that is exactly what we'll now do. As you can see, they wake up and they're very excited at the prospect of meeting us. And with their embrace, we now have the flame of chaos inside of us, and we are ready to become the Lord of the Frenzied Flame. Now go back and speak to Hyetta, and she'll be asked to be burned by the Frenzied Flame. You melt out her eyes. She then speaks to you the words of the three fingers and tells you what must be done, and that is burning the entire world to the ground. And then shortly after, once she finishes her speech, she will go up in flames and be no more, and you'll be rewarded with the Frenzied Flame seal, which is an absolutely phenomenally powerful seal and a very fitting reward to the end of Hyetta's questline. Now, when you next rest at a site of grace, Melina will appear, as she knows exactly what you've just done and who you have just become. You are no longer fit, she says, and if you choose to go through with this and become the Lord of Chaos, she will hunt you to the ends of the earth and kill you. That is her sole purpose now that we've done what we've done. It's at this point that I will also very briefly touch on how to revert this should you realise you've made a terrible mistake. When you reach the crumbling Farum Azula, which we will be covering in an upcoming video in the Things You Missed series in the next few weeks, once you've beaten Melina, you will then get an item that you can use at the boss arena of Dragon Lord Placidusax. You can use that item there and actually revert the effects of the Frenzied Flame should you no longer wish for this ending. And with that, all I have left to say is I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.